Chicos, estamos aquí con Joe ABERCROMBIE, le vamos a hacer unas preguntitas y let's start. Your worlds are full of blood, mud, and very bad decisions.
Definitely bad decisions, yeah.
What's the appeal of showing fantasy without the glamour?
I suppose I read a lot of fantasy as a kid that was, full of success and heroism and shiny, glorious armor and people who very rarely failed. And when I was growing up, I studied psychology at university. And one thing I looked into or did a lot of work on was human error. Why ships sink, why nuclear reactors melt down, that kind of thing. And so I've always been interested in failure. And reading a lot of military history, battles, wars are often won and lost on the basis of mistakes more than they are with a glorious charge or with a blow struck at the exact right moment. It's more because someone had the map upside down or, two officers hated each other and so the orders went wrong. And so I've always been interested in things that fail. And so I like a book to be a good comedy of errors.
Yeah. Okay. You've said before that you're more interested in what happens after the big battle.
Yeah.
Why is the aftermath more compelling than the glory?
I suppose because, again, going back to fantasy I read as a kid a lot, you'd have this kind of epoch-changing battle at the end. A new age would come in and nothing would ever be the same again, and there was kind of a big moment of change. And if you look at something like the Iraq War, when George Bush declared victory on his aircraft carrier, if you stop the story there, you could say, there's the ending. Now it's all done, it's all finished, it's all fine, it's all great. But of course, you kind of miss the point then because the seeds of the next thing are always there. They're always sown in the war before. The Second World War grows out of the First. The First World War grows out of the Franco-Prussian War and all kinds of other political happenings. And so in real life, we're in this cycle of things that are always changing, restarting, shifting into new forms. And I like to reflect that in my fantasy, I suppose.
Yeah, so you don't like happy endings?
Well, I suppose they always say if you want a happy ending, it depends on where you choose to end the story, right? Because in life, there is only one ending.
Yeah.
If you go far enough. So
That's a good quote.
Yeah.
Really good.
I think Orson Welles is the happy ending one. And so I suppose it's just a case of what you choose to focus on. I mean, I like happy ending in a happy story. There's nothing wrong with that. But we see that a lot, so I've always tried in my writing to do some of the things we're not used to seeing so much, which isn't always popular, but, I'm not here to be popular.
Okay. Your characters rarely get what they want or deserve.
Sure.
Do you believe in justice in fiction? Or do you enjoy watching things fall apart?
I mean, I do enjoy watching things fall apart. I mean, I
know.
I don't know about enjoy, but we see things fall apart a lot, right? So I suppose in real life, well, in fantasy, you often get these promised kings who return and bring order and glory and everything's great, We accept that Gandalf knows what he's doing and that he's got everyone's best interests at heart. But in real life, often, the great and the powerful don't necessarily have everyone's interests at heart. In the modern era, we're used to seeing things fail and collapse, and rarely does a political project massively succeed. And so I suppose I just like to present some fantasy where failure, things going wrong, selfishness, the nature of people gets in the way of the better world we'd all like to see.
Fall apart. Everything fall apart.
It can do.
Yeah.
It can do.
Many readers call you Lord Grimdark.
Yeah.
Do you embrace that label?
Well, I awarded it to myself, like all the best titles. I'm not a real lord, unfortunately. So I can't get into the House of Lords canteen or anything. I have tried. They turned me away. I suppose
we can name you Lord of Abiles.
Well, that would work as well. The is there such thing? We're in a palace, right? We're in Abiles Palace, so
that's it.
Maybe that's appropriate.
Okay, I name you Lord of Abiles.
I think Brandon Sampson's currently Lord of Abiles. Yeah, I'm just following along behind, right? He's got the cues, the big cues. Yeah, I mean, so I did it as a joke to begin with. When Grimdark first started getting talked about in the 2010, 2012, I suppose. So after I started writing, certainly. And it was used as a joke, usually, meaning something was ridiculous, a bit absurd, over the top, too violent, too cynical, edgelord, And so I called myself Lord Grimdark on Twitter as a joke. I was not declaring my lordship of a subgenre.
But you are.
You know what
you
I mean?
Already are.
Oh, undoubtedly. But I've come to claim that ground, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I don't take Grimdark too seriously, but if it connects a reader with a kind of fiction they like, with books they like, that's really what those things are useful for. I don't know if it serves some greater critical understanding. I'm not sure how. No one agrees what is
It is
or
a
isn't
great
Grimdark.
novel, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you write your fight scenes with a smile? Because you are absolutely brutal, but really elegant.
Oh, thank you. That's a good combination.
Yeah.
Brutal yet elegant. Yeah, I mean, I try to write everything with a smile if I can. When I'm first drafting, there's not always a smile. I find that process quite tough.
And also killing people with a smile.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't kill people. I just tell you about it. Right? I always tell people that. Don't blame me. I'm just a messenger. So I try to enjoy any sequence that I write. And I suppose with action, as with anything else, I try to put the reader into the skin of the people. It's not about describing the actions or describing the setting or having some technical manual of what's happening. It's about the experience of being there. And if they're very experienced, expert warriors, perhaps they're thinking about, the tactics, the strategy of the fight. But usually it's people who don't know what the hell they're doing and they're just terrified and trying to survive from one moment to the next. So it's giving that sense of the emotion of being there rather than describing the action.
Yeah, I know. If you woke up tomorrow in the first law world,
oh God,
what's your survival strategy?
Anything and everything. I suppose betrayal, plotting, long-term planning, very important. But I very strongly suspect I would be dead very quickly. I'd certainly be uncomfortable. The lack of quality underwear, no sewerage systems, the food. I think I'd find it very tough, very tough to make progress.
If you had to write one last final story, your big goodbye.
Oh wow!
What would it look like? Hopeful ending or fall apart? Always the same.
That's difficult, isn't it? I mean, I think to write a very hopeful, simple, happy ending and tie everything up in a neat bow, that'd feel like a betrayal of my whole approach in a way. So I think I have to stick with this sense of, there'll always be problems,
chaos,
there'll always be difficulties, there'll always be chaos. We can rise above it to a degree, but we've always got to be watchful to keep ourselves above it. Yeah.
Okay. I've read The Devils.
Right. Nice.
And my surname is Diaz.
Ah, nice.
And I'm from Leon.
There you go. It's all about you in the end.
It is.
Yeah.
But I'm not very religious, so.
Well, he's not all that religious in some ways. Are you a good administrator?
Political.
You a gifted administrator?
Mm-mm.
No. Sexual werewolves?
Well.
If possible.
It's possible.
Yeah. I'd see how that works out. Yeah. It worked out for him in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was the destiny that I read that book.
I think so.
And let's play a quick game.
Okay.
Called Spoil Me the Ending. I'll give you 3 words.
Yeah.
You have to imagine a story based on them.
Yep.
And you have to tell me only the ending in your style.
Okay.
The words are ash, sword, and mercy.
Ash, sword, and mercy.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to give you a...
Only the final.
Oh, another word to complete it?
No, the ending, how it would end. Like, everything there, the world exploding, something like this, so in your style.
It's a story that involves ash, sword, and mercy.
Mm-hmm.
How would it involve? How would it end? Well, I suppose it would end with the burning down of the family farm. The sword is left buried in the rafters. There was no mercy.
No mercy at all. That's your style.
Well, that's what I did with those words.
Yeah.
Maybe with different words I'd come up with something else. Probably equally depressing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers.